Dan Reichert.
Hello, that's me.
Do you remember Borderlands?
I do. I reviewed both those games.
Do you remember Borderlands 2?
Yes, very much so.
Do you remember Borderlands, the other one? The space one? The prequel? Pre-sequel?
Not so much that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this is Borderlands 3, if you can believe it. This is footage that I was playing from E3, the Entertainment Electronic Expo. Nailed it.
Yes.
E3, Borderlands 3, they're the same.
I believe you were playing this while I was simultaneously playing the same demo.
Yes.
Yes.
Mine was the one being recorded.
Yes.
So from what I can say from this is it is more Borderlands on every level.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Very much so.
You got the same kind of people yelling at you as you play, bunch of shooting.
It is straight out of a time capsule from 2012, dusted up, and, it's all nice and 4K-ified and everything, but it is certainly Borderlands.
Yes. From what I remember from playing this is it's a lot of me opening chests. But I was a little frustrated because I kept switching guns, and they never gave me a better gun at any point.
I got a couple guns. I remember I had kind of a cool shotgun that made guys fly up into the air or something.
Yeah. I feel like the ones they gave me were the coolest, and the rest were sort of less than.
I mean, that is the Borderlands thing, is making sure that you're constantly cycling out all these cool, wacky generated guns. And, I'm sure the full game will probably deliver on all that.
Mm-hmm. And they have, the different character types again. I'm playing the Siren, which is the classic, do magic lady. So this is me just going through the menu system. I've never done one of these, record a demo and then talk over it later. So it's weird. I can only vaguely remember. We did this a while ago.
Yeah, a month and a half ago.
So, but you can check out, we got the inventory coming up here. I even let stuff be on screen for a while if you want to read it, because I never do. I just thumb through that quick so fast. What do you mostly remember from this?
From this demo, I remember being okay, I haven't played Borderlands, any form of Borderlands, for quite a while. I didn't play through all of pre-sequel just because it was not doing anything for me in the early hours.
Yeah.
So I did remember that, the gunplay is fun in Borderlands. This feels good. I like checking out these different guns.
One quick thing with the guns, I do remember they added skins, as you saw. I took the skin. I think they also you can adjust specific parts to your guns, which is kind of interesting for how the loot shooter stuff works.
Yeah, that's new.
I didn't seem to really pick up much in the way of that. It was more something they told to us, and I kind of poked around at it, but I didn't find anything to pick up or add to my guns throughout this demo.
It is hard in a demo environment to really kind of get a sense of how deep those systems go, because you don't want to spend all this time doing it when you've got a set time for a demo. You need to get to the end of this thing before they kick you off, I
also don't think that they really showcased it here much either. I didn't get any opportunity to buy attachments or pick up attachments. As far as I could tell, at least. Yeah,
I think what this demo gave us is maybe a sense of just what a standard mission's going to be like, what the tone and look of the game is going to be, which, is more Borderlands. I don't think this demo was, it's hard to show the nitty-gritty and all the, tiny little,
of course.
changes and stuff. So,
but that was just the thing that they talked about.
Yeah.
You showed it briefly here. Here's me looking at the skill tree. So it seems like there are, I think this was in the other Borderlands too. You had, different sort of tracks you can go to within the same skill tree. So there are these 3 different ones. I think I picked a couple of them to try at each thing. I think the one I started with was one where I go in and I can sort of do a ground pound slam thing, which felt very Destiny 2 with my Titan.
Yeah, I was the character that had a giant robot he could call in as kind of his ultimate thing. Yeah,
those seem pretty cool.
Yeah.
That you also have these action skill augments, so you can adjust how your action skill behaves. But I could purchase some stuff here. It's very skill tree. I will say I enjoyed my character. Didn't feel like a huge departure. Maybe your robot did more so than this, because the Siren felt very much like the other Sirens as far as I can remember from the other games.
Yeah, the robot thing, I can't think of a direct analog with the characters I played in the past. It wasn't like a turret type thing. It wasn't a, what was that? The Hawk guy, Mordecai from the first one.
Oh, yeah, Mordecai.
Yeah,
I played a lot of Zero. I remember that was Borderlands 2.
Yeah, I think Zero was the first one I played through in Borderlands 2. So yeah, I forget the name of the mech guy, but it was kind of cool to be able to pull this thing down and just start lobbing grenades and minigun stuff everywhere. And you could do all sorts of tweaks in the skill tree to that stuff. So it'll be fun to explore these different characters here. Borderlands has always done a good job of having fun skill tree stuff, and the combat is king in this game.
Yes.
And I think it's still good here.
Unfortunately, it sounds like our audio is out of sync.
Huh.
You hear that? Yeah, that's not how it should be.
Could that not be just people shooting in the background? Let's
no. That's...
Oh, yeah, that's...
okay, hold on a second.
Yeah, I could use the practice.
Why is it... Is that just how this is?
Maybe that's just the video file.
No, it seems fine now. Okay.
Okay,
well, how
whatever.
do we want to do this?
Just keep going.
Okay, we'll skip back a little bit, but sorry about that, folks. Yeah, it seems like it's fine now. I'm not sure what happened there.
All right.
But yeah, the shooting felt good. You know, I really like the shooting in the other Borderlands games. I also couldn't remember how to do my special skill for a while, so you see me hitting a bunch of buttons, punching the dead air, because I was like, what's the thing? And I think it's hit both bumpers. I honestly forgot again already. I did like this shotgun because I could, I mean, this was in Borderlands, the other Borderlands games, where you throw it when you reload and it explodes, which is kind of neat.
I think that's a fun thing, and then like a new one regenerates. Yeah, that was like a certain like brand of gun that would, the manufacturer. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm disappointed in this.
Yeah.
Because it is kind of exactly what I expected it to be.
Yes.
But because of that, it's hard to get like super duper like fuck yeah Borderlands about it.
Yes. I played so much Borderlands 2.
Yeah.
That was a game I played like early in my college years where it was like, I don't have a ton of money for games. I'm not getting new consoles or anything. I mean, it was still, the latest thing wasn't out yet, but it was just a game I could grind forever and listen to podcasts and not have to think, and I really enjoyed it for that. And I think that if this game were to be coming out around then, I would be so pumped. But at this point, it feels like a game that came out 6 years ago, but now like doesn't seem like there's much different or new to it.
It does feel kind of dated, and like you said, I think if this came out in like 2014 or 2015, I think it'd be way easier to get pretty jazzed about this.
Yes.
But I don't know, especially like even the online first-person shooter genre has changed so much since Borderlands 2 came out. You know, with stuff like Destiny and, you know, like more ambitious multiplayer co-op.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised they didn't. I feel like Borderlands might work well in a Destiny-style thing. You think so? No, your face, you're grimacing.
No, I'm thinking about it. I think it could, but obviously there are like huge challenges with that genre. Like you look at Anthem, you know, even with all of EA's might behind it and everything, Anthem was a fucking mess.
No, absolutely. I mean, I'm not saying it wouldn't be hard, but all games are hard. Yes, I'm just saying if they wanted to modernize it, that could have been a possible way to go.
Yeah, if they could pull that off, I think that would be a cool way, a cool direction to take this thing.
Yeah.
Whereas like this feels just very safe, and like this will certainly sell a bajillion copies. Like people will say, "Oh shit, there's a third Borderlands. I'm gonna buy that." Like regardless of how kind of like old it kind of feels.
Yes. I think the dude just sort of kamikazed and then died on his own. I think he landed in that pit of acid. Anyway, this is me picking up all the guns. Again, it's the same sort of Borderlands loot loop. Like I said earlier, I do wish the stuff I was picking up was a little more exciting. I think I'm probably going to go here and look at what I got. And it all was like, it was like a little bit worse. I think I tried some of them anyway, just to sort of do it for the demo.
Yeah.
But I think at the end, I really just liked the original guns they gave me.
I think this could use kind of a refresh on the UI design, because this especially seems kind of old looking.
Yeah, the sort of gun compare.
I think they could have spiced it up a little bit or made it feel a little more modern, because this feels straight out of last generation.
Yeah, and I feel like I've said this maybe a million times already, but I do feel like if I played this and someone told me it was an expansion of Borderlands 2, I'd have been like, yes, that checks out. I believe you 100%.
Yeah.
Nothing seems that different.
If I sat down right now for this quick look and somebody said this was the new thing they just added to Borderlands 2, I would not question a single thing.
Yeah.
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 It's hard to not sound negative when talking about this game.
I know, because it really is fine.
Yeah.
But it's also not doing anything new. And there's also, a bunch of not great stuff surrounding the game itself, which is unfortunate. Like, that stuff really sucks a lot.
It depends on how much you like magic.
Well, it's not even the magic stuff. It's also them hiring, sexual predators to do voice acting and whatnot, which is not good.
Don't think I'm aware of that stuff.
Yes. We can talk about it later, but that stuff sucks. It's really marred what's already sort of a disappointing first look at the game. And it makes me question if I'm going to even get it at all.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to play this. I'm curious if it's going to be as easy as last time around to find people super eager to hop in and do like long co-op sessions and stuff like that. Because like it was the thing back then, and it was revolutionary back when 1 and 2 came out in the way that it did the drop-in, drop-out co-op.
Yeah.
I think a lot of games had started doing online co-op stuff ever since like Gears and even before that. But I feel like in terms of 4-player, ease of use, drop-in, drop-out stuff, I feel like Borderlands 1 was kind of a trailblazer with that. Whereas this doesn't bring that new thing to the table.
Yes,
you know?
exactly. And what it does bring is some internet humor. Hello. Hello, internet humor. Some lulz.
It's got memes.
I think if you listen here, we talk about a streamer.
Yeah. Borderlands gets it, kids.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's, fine. I feel like when I was playing a lot of Borderlands 2, it wasn't really for the story. It was just for having a feel good, like the shooting felt good.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed that aspect of it.
The thing I hate about the tone of this game is like it's the type of game that would like unironically, like do a trailer or something in game where it's like it's epic and full of wind, like a unicorn poop and a rainbow. It's like shut the fuck up. Like I don't know how many times the character's been talking in Borderlands. It's just shut the fuck up. This is like the internet being funneled through a game.
Yeah, I think I'm a little better at just tuning it out. Like I don't really even think about it.
Games are bad at humor. Like almost across the board.
What are good games that you think are funny?
Portal
is funny.
Portal and Portal 2 are
I
funny
thought
games.
Dream Daddy was very funny. I'm trying to think of other funny games.
I'm trying to think of games that made
It's
me
also-
laugh. I feel like I remember on podcasts in the past being like, wow, this is a video game that made me laugh.
A lot of
So
people
it's
like
happened.
Wolfenstein 2's humor. It wasn't my cup of tea necessarily, but
like
a lot of
Wolfenstein
other
2.
people thought it was very funny.
I did think they did a really good job. I'm trying to think. God damn, other examples. Like, what the fuck is there actually funny game?
Borderlands is the peak of the mountain. It's the tippy top. Tippy top.
No.
Yes. I don't know. That's a good question.
I'm just drawing a complete. I know it has happened before.
I'm sure there are. It's going to be a thing where right when this is done, I'll be like, those games. Yes, all of those games.
Stanley Parable. Maybe clever is
Oh,
the word
Stanley
more than
Parable.
funny.
Yeah, I feel like that was not a game I was like laughing at. Maybe I would laugh in surprise when stuff would happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was more just clever, I think, like you said.
And there's a lot of games that are funny and like, the physics systems can lead to some hilarious stuff, but that's not writing, I'm trying to think of like good, funny games
What about
writing.
something where the physics system is more intentional, sort of like a, what's that game called? Just Cause?
Oh, yeah.
Just Cause.
Yeah, like they know what they're doing. And
Yeah.
like, they definitely build that game to be let you make funny situations with their physics. They know that stuff is entertaining.
Yeah.
But I do still think that's a different form of humor than like funny writing,
Yes.
Which-
No, totally. Yeah. I don't know. So this is a new thing. I was like, what is this? And it's just basically a big grenade, but also it shoots out a bunch of junk for you.
Oh yeah, this
So
is
we'll
the
see
whole,
that later. There's a boss that uses these. I'm basically leading to a boss. Again, like I said, there's a lot of me opening crates. It's Borderlands.
Yeah.
It's hard not to just go around hitting those loot box buttons.
What you get trained to do in these games.
Yeah.
how
Here
you
we
play
go.
it.
Locker. Oh, yeah. That feels good.
Boy, howdy, this is Borderlands.
I know. Unfortunately, we maybe run out of things to say about Borderlands. But I will say, I think I kept trying to do her power-up move. And I think I got it there.
the special
but
ability thing?
yes. So this is the fight for your life, which I forgot about. I forgot that, if I shoot someone, I come back to life. But I learned later on. Don't worry. This one I'm like, oh yeah, fight for your life. I forgot about this mechanic.
Oh, the like down but not out thing. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Same kind of respawn system as before. Doesn't really.
Yep.
It all looks the same too.
Indiscernible.
Yeah.
And again, there could be
Yes.
mechanics and features and stuff that go into a depth that we have not seen. In
And like I
previous
said,
games.
seem like they do maybe a little more with the guns that I couldn't really explore in the short demo, but maybe you can in the full game. Maybe we're really undercutting this streamer story, and it's actually pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, sure.
Like I said, it felt good.
Yeah, it does. enthusiasm just radiating out of this room here.
The gun I'm using now has like a shield surrounding it, which is sort of neat. Can't remember if Borderlands 2 had any of that.
I was never a big fan of the melee in these games. I never thought it felt like it had much weight to it. You know? I think like
I'm with you.
Doom and Wolfenstein, like games like that can really pull off a weighty melee kill are good, but this never really had that.
I know, this is me refusing to find cover.
Great.
No, I'm not gonna make it.
Aw.
That's okay. We'll get through this. Don't worry.
It's making me really excited to play like 100 hours of this.
The thing is, like, I like Borderlands games. I do.
I do too.
Again, this one is marred for more reasons than one, but
I gave Borderlands 2 a 9.75 at Game Informer. Like
I played so much of that game.
It's a really good game.
Yes, and I really can't believe how tepid I feel about this one.
Yeah. Again, time, you know,
Yeah,
the industry advances, and this has not. It doesn't seem like it's kept up.
Yes, and I think it is also a thing. I'm not sure what's going on with our frame rate here. Sorry about that, but I do think this is a thing where, you know, again, I think maybe my image of Borderlands of like, oh, it's such a great game is very set in the time. And I think just outside of that, it doesn't maybe hold up quite as well as I remember it.
Yeah, I think we would be way more enthusiastic if Borderlands 3 was coming out this year and it felt newer.
Yeah,
you know?
I think if there was a lot that was different about it, I'd be excited for it.
The Borderlands brand and gameplay and core of that series is still super good, but like it needs to evolve, you know?
Yeah. Even the characters here feel very early Borderlands of like, here's a guy with a mask who's like kind of grungy and maybe shirtless.
Which so many games have done that exact same like aesthetic, you know, it's
yeah. So I also couldn't figure out what that was. I was like, is that a thing I have to go to? But I think it was just the waypoint being a little funny.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be fun to play with friends and talk to friends because that's a good thing about co-op games. Oh, I'm struggling to not just be super negative.
I know. I think this is me here figuring out, trying out some of the other ones, and I think I don't remember the one I just unlocked. We'll see it a little bit later. I think it's like a blast forward type of thing, like a blast of energy forward versus a ground pound. So I just unlocked a new. I don't think I ever got to see the third one, but I unlocked the second major. I guess action skill, I think is what it's called.
Okay.
Just so we could try it out.
Great.
Yep. Looking at, skill tree.
Yep. It's got that.
You can read it if you want.
Sure.
Give you plenty of time to do so. I was really trying to do a good job here of like, well, people want to read it. They'll get mad if I go too quickly. They want to see here we go. So that's the other thing. Yeah.
I just did one of these things too where I had to record something at an event and it was like, do I just let all this dialogue play out? Because like when I play, I would probably like read it and then press a button. It's like, I guess I'll just look at this character for a long time. Hopefully that's fun.
Yeah. Did you have fun at E3? We're a couple months out at this point.
It feels like a decade ago. At this
point. It really does.
I did. I enjoyed it. I thought those night shows were always a fun time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I had a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know when Borderlands 3 is coming out? Because I actually don't.
September, I think.
I'll look it up.
Jesus Christ, that's coming up.
That is. Let's go check it out. Borderlands 3 release date. September 13th. Wow.
Okay. Wow, that is like a month and a half away.
Yeah.
I'll play it. Look at that. There's some menus.
I think this is me still hopeful that I'll find some better guns. I don't really. Soon we're going to get to the boss here, which will show you it's a Borderlands boss. Again, I had fun. I had fun with the demo. It's just there's really not much more we can say about Borderlands. It's Borderlands 2 again. It's Borderlands pre-sequel again, but no gravity and oxygen stuff.
That stuff sucked.
Yeah, that
I
stuff was
hated
not
that
great.
stuff.
But you get to play as Claptrap, everyone's favorite.
That's
I will
great.
say, I don't think I saw Claptrap at all in this, which is
That is surprising.
a real
Like,
shame.
If there is a mascot of Borderlands, I would say it has to be him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love old Clappy?
I think a lot of people don't like
The
old
clap.
Clappy. The clap? That's what they call him now? The kids?
Yeah. There's an improv warm-up called Pass the Clap,
Okay.
which I never really thought about as an innuendo,
Oh,
but
that's definitely the joke, yeah. Yeah.
it's a really stupid warm-up.
Yeah, how's it go?
So, okay, we would stand in a circle with more people, and then we would look at each other and then clap at the same time, and then you would pass the clap to the other person. Improv is really fucking stupid.
Oh, boy.
Do you wanna try it?
Okay, all right. So we're just
Okay.
trying to clap at the same time?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, so if we were in a circle and we had more people, I could clap to you, and then
you
I might clap
turn.
to you again and not turn around and really throw you off. It's just like it's like a concentration exercise. It's one of the not better warm ups.
Do you think any of this stuff helps?
Yeah, I think it
Okay.
can. I think it can just to get you team mind. I think some warm ups are more helpful than others, especially depending on the form you're doing. I think if you are a really early improviser and you're doing pass the clap, I think it's more helpful because it's like, okay, we're working together. Okay, we're in sync. Okay, we're not going to hesitate. We're just going to trust that we're clapping at the same time.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Just learning how to work with other people and adjust on the fly and yeah.
Yeah, gotta love a quick look that goes into clap talk.
What everyone's
Improv
asking for,
talk.
yeah.
Everyone loves. Oh, more of these things. I forgot what they were again.
Environmental hazards. Mm-hmm. Looks like the Skyrim logo inside those speakers.
Oh, when are they doing? Well, there's a new Skyrim coming up, right?
Well, there's Elder Scrolls 6 coming out in like 2042. They showed a logo on a hill.
Oh,
That's
I
pretty
feel
much
like
all
I've
we
ignored
got.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think this will come out on the Switch?
You know,
I feel like honestly, if this were on the Switch, that would make me more likely to play it.
Yeah.
Which I know is a cliche. We
Right,
say it
right.
all the time, but I think also this is a game I think would be nice for me to mindlessly play on the subway and not dedicate my valuable home time to.
yeah, I'm gonna say this knowing absolutely no idea how the fuck video games are made or what goes into it or what I'm talking about most of the time. But
That's our job.
yeah, I would say that it seems like as far like the Switch has done some like ambitious first person like the Doom and Wolfenstein ports. Granted, they don't run super well, but those are like more realistic art styles and like way more detailed textures and things like that than Borderlands art
Yeah,
style.
they put a freaking Borderlands game on the Vita.
Right, yeah, so I feel like the Switch should be capable of doing some form of this game, like maybe not at the exact same frame rate and level of detail,
Yeah.
but like I feel like this art style would lend itself towards that being possible, right?
Yes. I feel like one thing that stinks about the Switch is I don't like it for shooters. I think the triggers feel bad.
They're not great. I like the Pro Controller a lot.
I don't have one. I should get one. But I also primarily play handheld.
Yeah, see, that's I play primarily on TV, so I love the Pro Controller. I finally convinced my dad to get one.
Wow.
Because he was so confused by he calls the Joy-Cons the wingy thingies, and he calls the
That's
Joy-Con
accurate.
grip the Batman thing,
Okay.
and he calls the Switch the TV part. So I've had to learn just kind of like the dad to English Switch language.
Yes.
And so I told him he doesn't have to worry about the wingy thingies or the Batman thingy if he just got this Pro Controller, and he finally did.
Does he
and,
play it handheld?
No, he doesn't think you can do that.
Okay.
He thinks that's impossible. I
Okay.
told him like, no, that's
He's
the
like
whole...
Vinny's kids.
Yeah, yeah. Yes. I was like, Dad, you know, like when you travel and stuff, you can just like take that thing out. He's like, the TV thingy? And it's like, well, that is the Switch, but like you can connect it. He's like, well, that's for charging the battery on the controller. Like, yeah, but you can also like play with them attached. Like, nah, you can't do that.
I will say something you saw me do earlier was vault,
Ah,
which I think that wasn't in the other games. I don't know if sliding was. You can also slide in this one.
I think that's new.
Yeah, I think also this gun or my shield, I think the shield I have like pops out and gives me little health boosts. I think
Okay.
that's what you see popping out of me.
I think around like Call of Duty Black Ops 2, I think there must have been some law that was passed that every first-person shooter had to have a like if you sprint and hit duck, you slide mechanic.
Oh, I love slide.
Oh, it's great. It's good stuff.
Yes.
But you definitely just start seeing it everywhere.
I think this is when I start to abandon opening every chest.
I remember when you could tell it was a Treyarch game because if you sprinted and you hit crouch, you would slide. And if it was an Infinity Ward game, if I remember right, I think that would do the dolphin dive.
Oh,
Like the
dolphin dive.
jump-
I don't like
jump
the
on your
dolphin dive.
stomach.
I find it jarring because I expect to slide, and the dolphin dive looks like it hurt.
I think it seems fun.
I think the slide seems fun. Have you ever done a slide?
No, I don't really understand the physics of how your body keeps going with your butt on the ground.
It's momentum.
Okay. Kinetic energy,
yeah,
right?
I think that's what it is.
An object in motion or something.
Yes. G-forces.
Yeah,
probably,
sure.
If you're sliding that fast, there's probably no G-force.
Okay, explode. Okay.
Splodios, I think.
Okay.
Something.
You ever play Splosion Man?
I don't know.
It's
I feel
fun.
like maybe we've played on a stream or something.
And there's Miss Splosion Man. They're both good.
Yeah, I'm familiar with it. I wanted to break the glass, but it wouldn't let me.
Borderlands was never great about
Like
interacting with that stuff. Yeah, like.
Yeah. But you can't open a shitter.
Oh, poopy.
Okay, we're getting to the boss here. Don't worry. We're on our way. Gotta check the menus again. Once again, really had a lot of hope for a new gun. Also, my backpack, your backpack does get full. Which I think just encourages you to sell your junk because there is a lot of it. But
I think they want people to cycle through guns for sure. Like I remember there were like vaults and stuff where you could store stuff, or you'd buy a vault or something in the previous ones. Like there was some way to increase your storage. I'm curious how it works in this one.
This is me trying not to get totally chewed up by the speakers.
All right.
Okay, I'm trying out a sniper rifle. Sniping's hard. We're gonna get through this. Okay, here we go. Who's ready for a boss?
Let's do it.
Let's get loud.
Here we go.
Me trying to get sniping early, but nobody spawned. Okay. Well, I gotta check the room before I can do the boss, of course.
I remember cheesing some Borderlands bosses. There's that like big flying like rack enemy or whatever in the first one, and you could just like hide in a cave and just do pot shots and it couldn't hit you. Like there were some ways to cheese it.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. I remember the end boss fight of the first Borderlands was a big disappointment because it just like kind of ends. Like there was like no narrative whatsoever in the first Borderlands, it seemed.
I have a vague memory of that one woman talking. It was like a real FMV thing of like her talking and gotta go there. And I remember the end areas, but I don't remember the last bosses.
It just, yeah, it was such a bare bones narrative in that first one. So like I remember in the second one, that was one of the main things they wanted to push forward is like, hey, people like these characters, but they never really had much of a chance to do anything in the narrative.
Right.
So they introduced like, okay, we got Handsome Jack, we got like an actual antagonist here, and like more of a story. I wouldn't call it narrative heavy, but I assume they're going to do the same stuff here.
I more remember the locations and the characters I played.
Yeah.
And I remember some of the fun heads I got to put on Zero.
Oh, right, yeah.
Some of the clothes.
The Gunzerker. He was the guy that could dual wield.
Yes, I played with him too. I think the first game I played with the tank guy, and then the second game I primarily played with Zero. But I think I probably checked all of them out at one point.
Yeah, I think I played as everyone. I was primarily Mordecai in the first one, and I think Zero in the second one.
All right, here we go. Yeah, sliding in. This all does have a bit of like a dubstep feel to it, which I think is more like of a very specific time.
About the time right after Borderlands 2, pretty much. Every fucking game trailer. Like an Assassin's Creed trailer. I'm glad that period is done. Now it's just the dumb somber cover thing.
Yes.
But I think that's got to be... I think everyone knows that's
eternal. That'll be there forever, I think.
hope not.
Oh, yeah. This is not new.
I think the somber cover thing, the first time I can remember that is Gears of War, that first trailer, the Mad World one.
Oh, right. Mad World.
Yeah. And then I think there was a while before we started seeing it in like every fucking movie trailer. It's like, oh, it's like a breathy, quiet version of Another Brick on the Wall or something.
Yeah. Sort of like, it's not really a quiet version, but there is a cover of a Bjork song in the new Terminator.
Oh,
Should just get the original.
Well, the crossover Bjork and Terminator fans has to be pretty huge.
Look, a lot of people were tweeting to me when that trailer came out.
Yeah. I hope that movie's good, but I don't trust Terminator movies.
I like the second one, and I don't really care if any of the other ones are good.
The second one is a perfect film. The first one is an incredible nightmare in a
Whoa.
good way. In a good way.
Okay.
It would be a nightmare to have a murder robot chasing you throughout eternity and time.
Yes.
3 was better than most people say it is, and everything else sucks to different degrees. And Genesis is one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Yes. And this is me changing my thing because I felt like with all the little dudes having the blaster on the ground would probably be better for me.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I remember Casey wrote this thing for a podcast. I saw this live podcast that he did. But he made this joke about Terminator 1 where it was basically like this fake fan fiction podcast, but he made this joke about Terminator 1 where he was, what's-his-face, sending that guy back to the future or to the past or something to like meet his mom.
Kyle Reese or John Connor?
John Connor, because he has to go back to like meet the guy's mom.
Well, in the first one, yeah, John Connor sends Kyle Reese back to protect his mother.
Yes,
yeah.
yes. So he sends Kyle. So John Connor's talking to Kyle Reese, and he just goes, "This is Casey wrote this." He's like, "Hey, don't fuck my mom," which I think is so funny.
But that's how he exists.
I know, but it's funny to think about. Anyway, that's Casey Malone. He's very funny. He's a good comedian.
Two attractive people around the same age. They're in an intense situation together.
It's
They're
just
both
funny.
single.
It is funny to think about, like, oh, you're going back in time. Hey, don't fuck my mom. Like, it seems like I should have to say this.
And then he did.
That's all I think about, though, whenever I think about the first Terminator.
That scene where he does fuck his mom is how I learned what sex was.
Really?
Yep.
I vaguely remember. Don't they like do it under a bridge?
No, they're in a bed, and there's a lot of
they're in a
close-ups
bed.
of her like hand grabbing the sheets while the sweet somber cover of the fucking Terminator theme is playing.
Really?
It's like a piano cover.
That's
and
so
I remember
funny.
turning to my mom when I was like a very small child and being like, "What are they doing?" And
What'd
like,
your mom say?
I think she probably said they're having sex,
Oh,
and then
okay.
didn't elaborate much on it.
That's good. I remember once I saw the movie Legally Blonde, and at one point they referred to humping.
Okay.
And then I asked my mom, I was like, "What's humping?" And then she just pretended not to hear me.
Yeah. I asked a nun in Catholic school what humping was, and I got, I can't remember if it was a principal's office thing or just an after-class talking to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is always a shame because it truly is, I think, kids being like, "I just don't know what this is."
Yeah, why do people
like,
react?
I didn't know that it was bad to say this.
Yep. Yeah, nuns loved hearing kids run around talking about humping back in Catholic school. Nuns didn't like most things in Catholic school.
So this boss, I'm like going around, not doing a particularly great job of it. All the things are constantly blowing up. I should probably be going towards the middle more, but
You're hanging on to dear life here.
yeah.
Let's see.
I think one thing that I find a bummer about this demo, which was when you kill this boss, just spoiler alert, I'm going to kill this boss, and then it will immediately end.
Oh.
And I was really hoping to see the loot. Because again, that's why you come to these games. I was like, cool, a gun. Oh.
It is satisfying just to see the like sheer just like volcano of like
Yes,
loot coming
stuff
out. Like
coming
that
out.
is cool.
Again, it feels good to play. It's very functional. I don't think it will surprise anyone, is my take on this demo.
I hope it does. I'm not expecting it
too.
to. But I'm just trying to manage my expectations, and I'll probably have some fun shootouts in this game.
Yes,
Get
exactly.
some cool guns.
Alrighty, well, thank you so much, Dan.
Of course.
And thank you to the folks at E3 for letting me play their game. Bye.
Bye.